Welcome to the Brotherhood, young assassins. You have proven to be the best of the best. I mean, you completed the exact same training courses that everyone else has, yet you, yes, you, have been picked among everyone, and now you can finally learn our ways. The path forward is dangerous. The shadows are no joke. We work in the dark to serve the light. All it will cost you is one little finger. Don't worry though, it's necessary for our signature weapon, the Hidden Blade. Now, young one, welcome to our world.
We are assassins.
All right, enough talk. Time to become a true assassin. There is a lot to learn. Many of you young bloods are fresh off of Valhalla, where you just had to run around brute forcing everything. That won't work here. Engaging in open combat will result in your body looking worse than Darth Vader on Mustafar after he lost the high ground. But don't worry, we got you covered. It's time to learn what it truly means to be an assassin. Let's start with some of the basics with Lesson 1, Parkouring. Like we mentioned before, Valhalla, this is not. So you can't just grab anything to climb anything. You need to find paths to sneak in, placements on the walls to climb up, and avoid the spikes set along most of the walls in this game. We are going old school, and it's time for a refresher course. When running across the rooftops, it's best to look for the following pieces of architecture: lines connecting buildings, bars and poles sticking out vertically to grab or to jump onto, ramps to run up or down to other levels, and so on. While not the most complex parkour system from our series, we need to learn to be on constant lookout for ways to traverse the areas. Combining this with your eagle vision will allow you to not only see the path that you need to take, but where your enemies are and how to best maneuver around the city. And yes, this does apply to both the open city gameplay and the danger zones for certain assassin missions. So you've got to be careful, plan your escape route, and plan where you will strike next. The next lesson we need to teach you is utilizing your items. While the signature Hidden Blade is the best weapon we have, sometimes our enemies are well prepared and ready. Maybe they have tough armor and we simply can't pierce through it head on. Or how about that one guard who just won't turn around or walk away the way you want them to? Sometimes we have to strike from the shadows from range or from above that the Hidden Blade just can't reach. I guess our legs just can't jump that extra inch forward, if you know what I mean. Might I suggest one of my personal favorites, the blow dart. Easily the best way to put your enemies to sleep before you give them a permanent dirt nap. Or maybe the smoke bomb tickles your fancy. Makes for an easy escape if you made one yourself, or allows you to jump down and take out multiple enemies before the smoke is even gone. Another helpful tip is that you can always switch between your backup weapons anytime you want. Meaning, if you need to change, you can actually freeze time, which will not only allow you to change your weapons, but think about the area you're in and allow you to plan your next move. It's a simple but a good one, and something you need to take into every encounter you go into. With some of the basics out of the way, you might be thinking to yourself, man, when is this gonna get hard? I know all this stuff. Well, how about this one? Have you ever noticed that these items that you've been using can actually be upgraded? However, it does take a decent amount of materials to upgrade these weapons that also happen to be split between your sword, dagger, and even your clothes. So, how can you get a ton of money to then get some of these materials? Well, easy. Time for our next tip, becoming a thief. Yes, pickpocketing is the name of the game. And as a side special bonus tip for you, if you don't like the little mini game that we force you to play for some reason, then you can actually turn it off in the control settings. Super easy. Now you can simply walk around and pickpocket the entire population with ease. Then, once you get all that stuff, you can sell it to the vendors and boom, you're gonna be rolling in money. With that money, you can now buy those materials for your upgrades. Oh sure, you could explore the city for hours and hours, but this makes it so much easier. Now, if you're still low on some materials to help with those upgrades, another thing you can do is contracts. Introduced after you return to Baghdad, the contracts will task you with finding people and either taking them out or stealing something from them, usually. These will also reward you with a ton of materials for upgrading your armor and weapons. So what's the lesson? Steal from everybody and complete those contracts. Moving on to the next lesson as an assassin is to change your controls. Let's be honest, the default control setting is fine, but it could be so much better. I mean, we have to become master assassins for crying out loud. Especially if you've ever played some of the older games that focus on stealth, let's say AC2 or Black Flag, we need to change some stuff up. With a focus on stealth and parkour, many online have been suggesting to change something like sprint to the R2 button. This allows for free running to become more smoother. You can also then sprint, then quickly push X to start going up buildings and across the rooftops. I also personally changed the dodge. Instead of using square to dodge, I actually pushed it over to circle. This is easier for my hand size personally on the controller, and it's what I also use in other games. Of course, you can change it to whatever you want. That's the beauty of allowing you to set the controls to what you personally feel is good. But we highly suggest going into the settings, changing up the button layout that you personally find the most comfortable, and it will make assassinating those Templars much easier. All right, if you've made it this far, it's time for a secret bonus tip that we get to only our exclusive assassins. It's time to show you where you can get one of the best weapons in the entire game super early on in your adventure. Not only is this sword and dagger combo strong, but it applies poison to your opponents. Yes, we know stealth is a focus, but sometimes we have no choice. Whether we're betrayed or simply a bell goes off that we don't get to see, we have to get into some combat. So why not go in prepared, is what I'm saying. After the intro and you arrive in Baghdad, you can get your weapon right away. First, the sword. Head to the location that you see on screen here and get the loot from the chest. This sword applies poison after a certain amount of hits. Not too bad, but we can do a little bit better. Next, let's get the dagger. Hop in your animal of choice, most likely a camel or a horse, and go to the location on screen. Synchronize with the spot and do a leap of faith into the hole. Follow on screen until you reach the chest and claim that dagger. Also, take out any enemies you might see. When you finish off your opponents now, a cloud of poison will appear, damaging the enemies. This can be very helpful. Also, if you wish to upgrade these, you'll notice the map is divided into sections and will show you how many collectibles you have found. Upgrades are in all gear chests, so search for the gear chests in the outer areas. Don't bother with the city because you found the sword and the dagger outside the city. So the upgrade chests are actually outside the city as well. It will also become super easy if you go to the Scholar to buy maps for the area for chests and other items. How do you get these? Well, it's simple. Just do some pickpocketing, just like the last lesson we talked to you about. See, it's all woven together. Simply locate the giant chests when you see them on the map, zoom in, and boom, you'll find the upgrades. Once you've upgraded the sword and dagger, not only will it do more damage, but it will apply poison faster. So you're going to be able to take out those groups of enemies if you have to get into a fight. But like we said, we're assassins, so this is the last resort. Let's move on to our final lesson, planning your attacks and infiltrations. This is not Valhalla like we talked about beforehand. No riding your boat up to the shore and announcing your presence like a kid in kindergarten. If you want the most out of being an assassin, a true assassin, then you need to plan your attacks. Use eagle vision, use your animal companion to spot enemies from above, sneak around and truly embrace the shadows. Finally, always be on the lookout for an escape route when things get crazy. You can always leave and try again. Anytime you enter the danger zones, don't worry. You'll notice the bar in the bottom right corner is gone. You can take out as many guards as you want. While this slower way of combat may not be for everybody, those who pass it and truly embrace it will rise above the rest and become known as master assassins. And you will truly be one with the Brotherhood. There is more we can always learn as assassins, but for now, this should be a good starting point for you. Now is the time for you to discover what works for you and to let us know in the comments what new lessons you have learned on your own as you grow and become the master assassins we know you will be. We can't wait to see what lessons you give us down below and to the rest of the community as always. It'll help us in our fight against the evil Templars, and who knows, you'll be remembered throughout history. If you enjoyed the video and you enjoy these types of guides, then a like and a comment on the video would be greatly appreciated. Also, a sub would help us out a ton. Shows us that you like these videos, plus it's free. Anyway, fellow assassins, I've been Tallen with Direct Gaming. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I can't wait to see everybody in the next one. Until next time, keep on your feet, keep practicing your parkour, and take out those Templars. John A.